When over 100,000 Jehovah's Witnesses walked away, the world expected transparency, apologies, explanations, maybe even reform. But the Watchtower didn't respond with honesty. It responded with control. If you are new here, welcome to a channel religious manipulators wish you never discover. If you crave for such deep dive, subscribe and smash the notice bell so that you don't miss our next upload. Rather than addressing questions, they attacked questioners. Rather than share financial reports, they built new walls of secrecy. Rather than seek truth, they blamed Satan. It's interesting when you watch Jehovah's Witnesses talks, particularly the 2025 Pure Worship Convention that talks about the temptation of Jesus Christ. They accuse Satan of twisting scriptures, and within the same talk, they do the opposite. In fact, even Satan does a better job of twisting the scriptures than they do.
So what was the temptation? Satan offered Jesus authority over all the kingdoms of the inhabited earth. Now, why could this have been a temptation for Jesus? We know that Satan loves to take a truth and then twist it into a lie. Satan knew the truth that had been foretold about Jesus, that Jesus would rule mankind. And Satan also knew that in order for Jesus to rule mankind, first he would have to suffer and die, and then he would have to wait. Yes, he'd have to wait for Jehovah's appointed time to begin ruling. But what about today? How does Satan tempt us today? Well, Satan may try to offer us tempting opportunities to enjoy material things. Again, Satan takes a truth and twists it into a lie. The truth is that Jehovah has promised all of us an abundance of material things in the new system. But for us to receive those blessings, we need to do Jehovah's will, we need to endure the hardships of the last days, and yes, we need to wait. Well, as he did with Jesus, Satan may tempt us with the desire of the eyes. He may show us material things. It could be in the forms of advertisements showing us material products, advertising travel, whatever the case, things that claim to make us happy. Or Satan may appeal to our pride, offering us a measure of authority or power or glory when it comes to the system of things. It could be a lucrative career.
Dismissing doubters. As financial revelations spread through forums and social media, the governing body launched a campaign, not of transparency, but of spiritual warfare. One JW speaker said, "Some have allowed Satan to plant seeds of doubt by reading negative information about Jehovah's organization online." Here is a clip from Davis Plain, warning against apostates.
Wouldn't you feel awful if negative comments you made were responsible for someone leaving the truth? I know you wouldn't want that to happen. So please, please, be careful about what you say. Now, another person might say, well, I can see where those warnings about apostates apply to so-and-so. He's weak, but don't worry about me. I'm spiritually strong. I can handle it. That's like a weightlifter, thinking that he can drink a vial of poison and it won't hurt him because he's so big and strong. We are not so strong, so spiritual, so intelligent, that we can't be affected by the poison of apostate ideas.
But what a fitting picture of the final end of all of God's enemies. Sobering, yet something we look forward to. However, the apostates and the enemies of Jehovah would say, well, that's gruesome, that's despicable. You teach your people these things? No, God teaches his people these things. This is what he's foretelling. And frankly, for friends of Jehovah God, how reassuring that they're finally going to be gone. All these despicable enemies that have just reproached Jehovah's name, destroyed, never, ever to live again. Now, it's not that we rejoice in someone's death, but when it comes to God's enemies, finally, they're out of the way, especially these despicable apostates who at one point had dedicated their life to God, and then they joined forces with Satan, the devil, the chief apostate of all time.
Those who dared ask, where did the money go? were branded apostates. One former elder said, they never addressed the evidence, just condemned anyone who mentioned it. Lack of faith, they said. That's not how an innocent organization acts. Every talk, every broadcast, every publication shifted the focus from defending the truth to defending control.
Now, when it comes to his crafty acts, although he does not directly approach us, as he did Jesus in the wilderness, how does he try to influence us, to undermine truth, to get us to make choices contrary to Jehovah's standards? Well, he does so by using something that we are all exposed to. He uses mass media communication, constant news feeds, social media platforms, the internet, discussion forums, television shows, all to influence our thinking to get us to abandon truth. But what else does Satan use? He uses his wicked agents, opposers and apostates, to spread seeds of doubt, to spread misinformation. But when it comes to these seeds of doubt that's spread by Satan's wicked agents, opposers, and apostates, these seeds are very insidious. They're like an invisible, poisonous, odorless gas that seeps into the consciousness of mankind, and if we're not careful, we can fail to see it for what it is. Satan's attempt to get us to abandon truth, to abandon true worship.
The message was clear. Doubt is sin. Transparency is rebellion. Control the information. Now, behind the scene, elders were given new instructions to monitor, to report, and to silence. Leaked letters revealed chilling orders. Watch for members sharing negative material. Counsel those reading apostate sources. Remind publishers that curiosity can lead to spiritual harm. One former elder said, they told us to report anyone discussing finances. They didn't say answer questions, they say shut them down. In the congregations worldwide, conversations turned cautious. People whispered, deleted searches, hid bookmarks. The fear of being labeled disloyal remained stronger than ever. But the more they tried to control the narrative, the more it spread. Follow the money again. While condemning materialism, the Watchtower quickly introduced new ways to donation collections, digital giving kiosks, QR codes, online portals, monthly broadcasting with governing board members asking for agent support.
As you know, for over 130 years, this organization has never solicited for funds, and it is certainly not going to start now. We don't send out monthly statements to each of Jehovah's Witnesses specifying a dollar amount that should be submitted to finance the work worldwide. Most donations, in fact, are contributed anonymously. Over the years, I have told various Bible students that a person could attend our meetings for 20 years and never put a penny in the contribution box, and we would not know it. Jehovah, of course, would know it, but we would not, because the donations are anonymous, but from the heart. We don't know who gives what. But for a certainty, any donations received do not line anyone's pockets and are not misappropriated. They are all used in supporting theocratic endeavors worldwide. As described in Matthew 24:45-47, the governing body prayerfully and sincerely endeavors to be not only the faithful slave, but also the discreet slave in wisely managing the master's resources. And please, dear brothers and sisters, pray for Jehovah to help us to be successful in being not only faithful, but also discreet. But often a member of the governing body will be heard to say, in spending Jehovah's money, we have to be more careful than we are in spending our own money. And that is truly how we feel about the matter. Yet, as you can well imagine, millions of dollars are required each month to finance the colossal kingdom work that is being supported by this organization in some 239 lands. Where does all of the financial support come from? Largely from you, dear brothers and sisters. Most funds come from what you voluntarily put in the contribution box in your kingdom hall. Yes, that little box with a slot that is labeled worldwide work is primarily what finances all of the theocratic initiatives that have been implemented.
And this is after selling the Brooklyn properties for more than 1.2 billion US dollars, owning hundreds of properties across the world, and dismissing long-time volunteers to cut costs. One former member said, they sold our Kingdom Hall for $850,000. They made billions from Brooklyn. Then they installed credit card readers in every hall asking for more. The audacity was stunning. It wasn't faith. It was revenue strategy, the threat of punishment. For those who spoke publicly, the punishment was swift and severe. Copyright claims, cease and desist letters, defamation threats. Judicial committees convened in secret. Members were told, question the money and you lose everything. A former JW said, I didn't post doctrine. I shared a government audit about Watchtower finances. A week later, I was disfellowshipped. My parents blocked my number. The organization message was clear. Loyalty means silence. Truth means exile. The silence strategy. Despite mounting questions, the Watchtower released no financial report, no audit, no breakdown of donation use, no explanation of the billion-dollar sales. Other major religions publish their yearly annual financial reports, audited by independent firms. Watchtower, with billions in assets, releases none. A former elder said, if you have nothing to hide, you welcome accountability. The moment you attack those who ask, you've already answered. And the Watchtower answered with silence. While they tightened their grip, people kept living. And this time round, they weren't living quietly. They shared their stories, built networks, created documentaries, just like this one, to expose what they once defended. The Watchtower's greatest weapon is isolation, but the internet shattered that. But what was once one voice in dark has become a chorus of survivors. They silenced the questions, but they couldn't silence the truth. The more they suppressed, the louder they became. This isn't rebellion. It's a call for accountability. And the world is finally watching. If you have enjoyed this deep dive, kindly do me a favor. Like, subscribe, and smash the notice bell so that when I upload another video, you'll receive a notification. And the more you subscribe, comment, share, and like, the more YouTube shares this message to more people. To watch other videos in this series entitled JW Exodus, click on this link.